Welcome to the Near Memo, a weekly conversation about search, social, and commerce. What happened, why it matters, and the implications for local. Hello again, everybody. Welcome back to the Near Memo with David, Mike, and Greg, where we talk about search, social, and commerce and AI increasingly through a local lens. And today we've got a disparate array of topics that are all sort of contained within that larger framework. We'll be talking about the Peekaboo LSA reviews. We'll be also talking about the BuzzSumo report and the power of local content, local link building, and to sort of round it out, a sort of a amorphous topic about the future of search, usage patterns around ChatGPT and Bing, and a very interesting podcast with one of the co-founders of DeepMind that I would listen to yesterday. So, Mike, your turn.
So last Friday, there were reports confirmed by me of LSA local service ads disappearing from visibility. And there was the sort of Pollyannish hope that this indicated that Google was doing something about LSA reviews, which have become a spam honeypot. What was originally conceived of as a verified review has become just the place where spammers like to hang out and do black hat, or either pro business fake positive reviews or black hat negative review attacks against competitors. I've been working with an AC company in Florida who's been under persistent attack initially through Google My Business, but Google My Business has largely controlled that attack, whereas LSA is like the Wild West.
Which makes no sense at all.
It makes no sense at all. Why would Google have two review systems? Why would Google have a URL which theoretically could be customized to each user so it can only be used once? Why would they allow that URL to be used multiple times to leave fake reviews? It makes no programming sense, no at all. And what happened in my case was they've gotten about 25 LSA reviews over the past month. They'd gotten almost 300 GBP fake reviews, which Google had taken care of. But of the 25, 10 were still outstanding. You report them and you'd get back an email that didn't even would tell you that the report was denied. They wouldn't even tell you which review it was. Out of the last 10, 2 of them got taken down. There's still 8 outstanding. And then this morning, all of these reviews came back. So what people had hoped was a feature turned out was a bug, but it just highlights for me the stupidity of Google's development system, where they release early, they do something often, but they never fix the crappy stuff. And this one is egregious because they had a huge opportunity to clean up both listings and reviews, because they knew the whole customer journey with LSA from click to call and quote. And it's the tragedy of Google that it is such a shit show that they did. And even in a paid area, it's a shit show, right?
Yeah, I'm going to place the blame on a slightly different weakness of Google, which they see as a strength, which is that they like to rotate product and engineering talent across multiple teams. And this is just a glaring example where it would be patently obvious to anyone with any domain expertise in the local space that review spam is going to be a major problem. And clearly the product and engineering team is, either coming from somewhere else or has just been working in ads their whole lives on whatever, e-commerce or other traditional ads, and just totally unaware that this is an easy thing for spammers to game, which has tremendous financial upside for them to do so. So I think that's more, I think in this case that the sort of lack of domain expertise in local probably is more to blame than the release early, release often. Although certainly the two have combined to create this massive problem.
I would suggest there's a third problem, and that is that each of these teams is expected to perform and is rewarded for their own performance, and they don't have this sort of Apple all for one for all kind of approach. So they end up developing a whole new system. And we've seen this repeatedly, like with messaging and stuff, whole new system to solve a problem that has largely been affecting some other division or has been solved by another division. And I think that somehow internally these silos are so great that they don't crosstalk, and these problems persist. It's a tragedy.
Well, it's interesting. The silo point I was going to make. I mean, David, your point about rotating teams would seem to address the silo issue on some level. But I was told
clearly they didn't get anyone who rotated in from the local team.
Right.
They came from other places.
I was told by somebody at Google, a couple of years ago now, that Google was a very siloed company, and this person was quite surprised to discover that. And so I think that's true, Mike, as you're saying. Another point I would make is that there are just no consequences for Google. There are no consequences at all.
Here there are consequences, because you pointed out that they've actually taken down LSAs across the board, at least for a day or so.
So there are
and
ad
they're
clicks.
losing ad revenue as a result. Yeah.
Right. There's ad revenue consequences. So that's perhaps motivating them to do something about it. But generally speaking, in this world of spam and fraud and fake reviews, there are no consequences for Google, and so their motivation to do anything about it is quite limited. And what we've seen, we'll talk about this maybe a little bit later, what we've seen in, like, most recently, their whole push into AI search features that are AI based, is and some of the stuff that they're doing otherwise, images, short video, this perspectives button now that they've got on mobile. All of this stuff is defensive. All of this stuff is motivated by competitors. It's not kind of internally mapped out to optimize the search experience for consumers. It's all being driven by what's going on in the marketplace that they feel they need to respond to. And I now see the SGE product as completely defensive, completely an attempt to preempt defections to others, and not what Google thinks is going to really make the search experience better for consumers.
Google has always had this dual focus of consumer, searcher, and competition, and they've often let the competition concerns override what's best for the searcher. We've seen it time and again.
Which is totally contrary to the rhetoric in Silicon Valley, right? I mean, all the cliches are, you don't focus on your competition, you do what's best for the customer or whoever your audience is, and that seems to be completely contradicted by what's going on here. But we're getting ahead of ourselves a little bit. Did you want to say anything more about the? No,
just I lost opportunity, and it's a crime.
Well, it's not completely gone. They can still do something.
Exactly. It's not lost yet. There's still a chance.
As long as we all exist together on planet Earth, there's still a chance for them to do something. And apparently Amazon is, trying to do something to clean up its fake review problem. And
what they're doing is they're writing AI versions.
Right. They're going to
summarizing all the fake reviews
conceal them
into an AI summary. A brilliant solution. Yes. No, now nobody knows that they're fake reviews.
Precisely. They're concealing. This is one of the things I'm going to write about today, is that they're concealing the review fraud under an AI summary.
Thanks for joining David, Mike, and Greg. To stay on top of the latest developments in local, subscribe to our newsletter at nearmedia.co. We'll see you next week.